Stop. Don't scroll. If you have a US passport and you're planning to fly to London after February 25, 2026, your powerful passport is basically a paperweight without one specific digital code. I just watched a family of 4 get denied boarding at JFK this morning. They weren't criminals. They weren't on a watch list. They just thought the rules were the same as last year. They were wrong. The era of just show up and get stamped is dead. Gone. Buried. My name is Kost Kaka. For the last 15 years, I've worked behind the glass at some of the world's busiest ports of entry, from consulting on border security protocols to helping high-net-worth clients navigate global mobility. I've seen every trick, every mistake, and every tear-jerking deportation scenario you can imagine. And I'm telling you right now, 2026 is the single biggest shift in global border control since 9/11. The questions have changed. The technology has changed. And if you answer the old way, you aren't just getting delayed, you're getting sent home. So, buckle up. We are breaking down the 7 critical questions you will face this year. You're used to walking up to the counter and hearing, business or pleasure? Forget that. The first question happens before you even leave your house. It's, do you have your pre-travel authorization? Here's where Americans are getting hammered. We've been spoiled. We think visa-free means paperwork-free. As of February 25, 2026, the United Kingdom has fully activated the ETA scheme for US citizens. This isn't a suggestion. If you don't have this approved digital token linked to your passport before you check in, the airline's computer literally will not print your boarding pass. But it gets worse. Brazil just flipped the switch on us too. As of January 1, 2026, US citizens need an e-visa. No more reciprocity waiver. You show up to Rio without that PDF? You're on the next flight back to Miami. Stop trusting travel blogs from 2024. For the UK, apply for the ETA at least 7 days out. It costs £10 to £20, but the rejection rate for typos is climbing. For Europe, the ESHAS is delayed again, but the EES entry/exit system is rolling out in phases through September 2026. This means you aren't just getting stamped, you are getting fingerprinted and facial scanned at the gate. Allow an extra hour for connections in Frankfurt or Paris. The lines are going to be catastrophic. This is the one that terrifies me. In the past, a phone search at the border was rare, reserved for people acting suspicious or carrying 10 laptops. Not in 2026. The scope has expanded. We are seeing a massive uptick in what's called digital border searches due to new directives focusing on mobile fortify protocols. The officer isn't asking if you will unlock it. They are commanding you to. And here is the trap. They ask, do you have anything on here that violates customs laws? You say, no, just photos. They open your WhatsApp. They see a joke your buddy sent you in 2022, maybe a meme about drugs, or a screenshot of a work under the table gig. Boom. You are now inadmissible. Why? Because you lied to a federal officer. The crime wasn't the meme. The crime was saying you had nothing of interest when their algorithm flagged a keyword. Sanitize before you fly. I don't mean delete everything. I mean, sign out of cloud accounts. Use a burner phone or a travel profile on your main device that only has Maps, Uber, and your hotel booking. If asked to unlock, you must comply to enter. But if they ask, what will we find? You say, I have personal correspondence and travel photos. I am not aware of any files that violate customs regulations. Do not say nothing. Nothing is an absolute. Absolutes get you caught. Now, you might be thinking, Kaka, I'm just a tourist. I'm safe. Are you? Because the next question is the one that catches the digital nomads and the working vacation crowd. It's a trick question designed to make you admit to tax fraud without realizing it. And the answer you gave in 2023? That answer is now a confession. I'm going to tell you exactly how to handle the purpose of visit trap in part 2. You do not want to miss this. Click the next video or check the playlist right now. We left off with the most dangerous question for the modern traveler. What is the purpose of your visit? In 2019, you could say tourism, walk through, open your laptop at a cafe, and work your 9 to 5 remotely. Nobody cared. In 2026, that is a deportation offense. Here is the reality. Countries like Japan, the UK, and members of the Schengen zone have cracked down hard on stealth digital nomads. They realized they were losing tax revenue. When the officer asks, "Are you planning to work while you are here?" they are not just asking if you are getting a job at a local Starbucks. They are asking if you are generating income at all while on their soil. If you answer, "I'm just gonna check some emails and take a few Zoom calls for my boss back in Chicago," you just admitted to working without a work visa. I saw a graphic designer get turned away at Gatwick last month because he foolishly told the officer he was finishing up a project during his 2-week holiday. Unless you have a specific digital nomad visa, your answer is, "I am here strictly for tourism. I will not be engaging in any remunerated activity within this country." Leave the laptop deep in your bag. If they ask about it, it's for Netflix and personal communication. Do not blur the lines. Notice I didn't say convicted. I said arrested. This is where the 2026 database integration destroys people. The US, UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand share more biometric data now than ever before. Here is the scenario. You had a DUI 10 years ago. It was expunged. Your lawyer told you, it's like it never happened. That is true for a job interview at Walmart. That is not true for international border control. When you fill out that UK ETA or the EU ESHA's form, there is a box. Have you ever been convicted of a criminal offense? If you check no because you think your record is sealed, and their system flags a biometric hit from an old FBI share, you aren't just denied entry for the crime. You are banned for deception. A 10-year ban is standard for lying on an immigration application. If the question asks about convictions and you were only arrested and released, you can say no. But if the question asks have you ever been arrested or cautioned, you must disclose it. I always tell my clients, it is better to admit to a minor offense from a decade ago and provide paperwork showing you've been clean since, than to get caught in a lie. The lie is what kills you. You might be rich. You might be a crypto whale. But if you can't prove it in 30 seconds, you're broke in the eyes of immigration. I had a client fly to New Zealand. The officer asked for proof of funds. The client pulled up his Coinbase wallet to show $50,000 in Ethereum. The officer laughed. Denied. Why? Because crypto is volatile and not immediately liquid in the eyes of many border agencies. They want to see accessible fiat currency. Furthermore, in 2026, with the cost of living crises hitting Europe and the UK, the daily required amount has gone up. Spain used to require about €100 per day. Now, they want to see closer to €120 to €130 per day of your stay, up front. Do not rely on banking apps that might not load because your SIM card hasn't switched over yet. Carry a physical credit card. Download a PDF bank statement to your phone before you fly. The answer: I have access to $5,000 USD in a checking account and a credit limit of $10,000 which covers my itinerary. We have covered the digital permission, the devices, the work trap, the criminal record, and the money. But there are two more questions left. One involves something you probably packed in your suitcase right now that could land you a $5,000 fine instantly. And the final question? It's the one they ask when you're leaving, and getting it wrong can stop you from ever coming back. I'm talking about biosecurity and overstay calculations. If you think bringing an apple off the plane is no big deal, you need to watch part 3 immediately. Click right here. Do not risk your next trip. We teased this at the end of the last video. You're tired. You just got off a 10-hour flight. You grabbed a banana or a ham sandwich from the lounge in Frankfurt because you were hungry, but you didn't eat it. It's sitting in the bottom of your backpack. You get to the kiosk. It asks, are you bringing in any fruits, vegetables, meats, or food products? You think, no, I'm not importing a crate of mangoes. I just have a snack. You hit no. Congratulations. You just committed a customs violation. In 2026, biosecurity is the new frontline. With the rise of invasive agricultural pests and new strains of avian flu globally, countries like the US, Australia, New Zealand, and even Canada have adopted a zero-tolerance policy. If the beagle sits next to your bag, and they find that apple, first, the fine. It's an instant $500 to $1,000 civil penalty. No court, no judge. You pay it right there. Second, the real cost. If you have global entry, TSA PreCheck, or Nexus, it is revoked immediately. Permanently. Because you are now considered a low-trust traveler. If you can put it in your mouth, you declare it. Even if it's a sealed protein bar. Even if it's candy. When you check yes, 99% of the time the officer asks, what is it? You say chocolate bar, and they wave you through. If you check no and they find it, you are done. When in doubt, declare it. This is the final boss. The question that turns a vacation into a 3-year ban. For years, Americans traveling to Europe have ignored the math. The rule is 90 days within any 180-day rolling period. In the old days, you could get away with an overstay because the border guard in Italy didn't feel like counting the stamps in your passport. He'd just glance at the date and stamp you out. Enter the EES. It is fully live now. There are no more stamps. There is no human counting days. A computer calculates your time in the zone to the exact second. Here is the trap. People think the clock resets on January 1st. It does not. It is a rolling window. If you spent June, July, and August in Greece, and you try to go to France in November, the math says you are still in the danger zone looking backward 180 days. If you arrive at the gate and the computer says you have been in Europe for 91 days out of the last 180, you are denied entry. If you try to leave and the computer sees you stayed 92 days, you are flagged as an overstayer. That flag goes on your permanent record. Next time you want to go to Paris? Visa denied. Stop guessing. Download a Schengen calculator app. Input your exact entry and exit dates from the last year. It will tell you, you have 14 days remaining. Do not play chicken with a database. You will lose. Listen, travel in 2026 is amazing. It's faster and more automated than ever, if you follow the rules. But the margin for error is zero. The systems are connected. Your answer in London affects your entry in New York. Your biosecurity fine in Sydney pops up on a screen in Toronto. You are building a global reputation score whether you know it or not. Protect that reputation. Get your ETAs early. Sanitize your devices. Don't work without a visa. Declare your snacks. And count your days. If you want the exact checklist I give my private clients, including the cheat sheet for which medications are illegal in which countries, I've linked my 2026 Smart Traveler Toolkit below. Don't let a computer glitch ruin your year. Be smart. Be prepared. I'm Cost Kaka. Safe travels, and I'll see you at the gate. Hit that subscribe button if you want to beat the system.